Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Going back in time to the year 1674, the Mughal Empire was ruling India and the throne was occupied by the Emperor Muhi al-Din Muhammad Javgata. He was famously known with his regnal name Aurangzeb, Beauty of the Throne. The Sikhs and Sikh historical sources would refer to him as Nauranga because he did not do justice to his self-claimed name. He had committed many atrocities and practiced Islam very extremely. The emperor was aware of the power that Islam had towards the west from India, with Saudi Arabia and all the Islamic countries around it. Thus, he wanted to spread Islam towards the east from those countries, so that he could fully implement Sharia law within his rule. The only way he could establish Islamic law was to have a completely Muslim population. Without having the law of Sharia implemented, he believed that he would be doomed for hell and could not practice his religion adequately by accepting this. Consequently, he agreed with all of his religious advisors that mass conversions must take place in order for their target to become a reality. This extreme approach brought devastation to India because Aurangzeb used every way possible to spread Islam, even if it meant bribery or violence. Aurangzeb firstly started his campaign in Kashmir, targeting the rich and educated class of Hindus in particular. Especially part of the agenda was to target the Brahmins, who were the scholars of the Hindu scriptures and responsible for delegating knowledge of the Hindu faith to the masses. The Suba governor of Kashmir was Sher Afghan, who first proposed to a group of Hindu scholars about accepting Islam. However, after they displayed a steadfast attitude for their own faith as Hindus, Afghan Sher was enraged and decided to invade an area of 11 to 17 miles that was heavily populated by Hindus in Kashmir. This mountainous area of Kashmir had many places of pilgrimage and sacred spots for the Hindus, alongside residence of many Hindu scholars. This was, after all, a hub for scriptural learning of the Hindu texts. A mass conversion campaign commenced where the Giani was removed from the Hindus' total to weigh around Savaman, 1.25 moons. This oppression continued for days to follow. One can understand just how many people were oppressed by considering how light a thread is, and for a pile of threads to weigh that much was absolutely atrocious. A Janeu can be defined as a religious initiation thread worn by Hindus, from the left shoulder down to the right hip. 1 man is defined as 1 mound, about 37 kilograms. So Savaman refers to about 46.6 kilograms of weight. After Afghan Sher had made his mark, the initial group of Hindu scholars were invited to talk again and warned about the consequences of not converting to Islam. This group managed to bail themselves out of the situation by asking for a time of 6 months to think things through. They were granted this time, in which they decided to make an escape far up in the snowy mountains, to congregate at Amarnath to plead before the entity Shivji for an answer. Amarnath temple is a shrine situated in a cave at an altitude of 12,756 feet and located in the Pahalgam Tehsil of the Anantnag district of Jammu Kashmir, present-day India. These Brahmins decided that they will either please their god or die trying, but refused to give up their faith. After 8 days of collective worship, fighting hunger, and sleepless nights, their bodies had weakened, and some Brahmins had fallen unconscious. Finally, the Brahmins discovered a mysterious letter in the shrine, which mentioned Guru Tegh Bahadar Ji being their only saviour, and how they should seek his sanctuary. This letter was understood as a divine intervention of God and a token to rescue them out of their problem. Seen as they were worshipping Shivji, they believed it to be written by that entity. As they read this letter to one another multiple times, they started to question who this Guru was. Out of the group, Only one Brahmana knew who this letter was referring to and explained about Guruji to everybody else. It soon made sense to everyone that it was this Guru's father, Guru Hargobind Ji, that had previously resisted 4 attacks by the Mughal Empire and was victorious in 4 battles with Shah Jahan, the father of the current Mughal Emperor Aurangzeb. Guru Tegh Bahadar Ji lived life fearlessly and would be unfazed before the emperor's might. Other historical sources, such as the Bhatt Vahis, mention that a Brahmin named Gurpartap Dutt was a part of this group, whose family lineage had been Sikhs from the time of Guru Nanak Dev Ji. He knew very well about the compassionate nature of this Guruship, and it was him that suggested visiting Guru Tegh Bahadar Ji, who would embrace them in this hour of need. Interesting to mention is that according to some sources, it was this same Gurpartap Dutt who became a martyr in the Battle of Chamkaur Sahib 1704 after being initiated into the Khalsa as Kirpa Singh. To be continued. Vaheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Vaheguru Ji Ki Fateh.